Well, in this setting, it's not our normal setting for our Madman with the show. We're getting to the end of the summer. There's some changes coming, obviously, on there. Normally, I would do this in front of a camera, but we're not set up as of yet. But what we're going to do is take a little moment and talk with you about what has been going on here in New York. And we've done a couple of videos on this. We've discussed about the cannabis rollout. We talked about the illegal cannabis trade that's going on, the Operation Padlock, which has been trying to shut down the illegal trade, and also how that the New York Sheriff's Department and Mayor Eric Adams have been violating the Constitution when it comes to all this, the lawsuits that are pending on there. The judge who has basically, to the point, could upend this particular operation because of a judgment of one particular deli in Queens. But there's a second deli, and this is going to show you. Now, there's two ways we could put this in. I'm going to give you in both directions because there's another part of this story I've just gotten from the Bronx, which kind of changes certain things. Now, again, innocent until proven guilty to the situation. But let's start off with what is going on with this deli in the second deli in Queens.
Latif Ahmed's Bodega in Jamaica, Queens is open for now, but next week a judge will decide if it will be closed and padlocked for 1 year.
I have family to feed. He shut my business down. He destroyed my life.
Last month, the New York City Sheriff's Department and NYPD raided his bodega in search of cannabis. It was one of more than 2,000 inspections conducted by the task force since May, when Mayor Adams lobbied the state for authority to padlock unlicensed cannabis stores on site, an initiative the mayor calls Operation Padlock to Protect. We've shown you some of the busts, including warehouses and distribution centers, yielding pounds of pot worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. But Ahmed claims all they found at his bodega was 2 packets of pot that belonged to his cashier.
Were you selling cannabis out of the store?
Ma'am.
There's nothing in the law that says we have to have zero tolerance of a product being in a store. Okay? And the issue is whether it's being sold to the public.
The NYPD said it took about 8 ounces of cannabis and THC vapes from Ahmed's store, as well as tobacco vapes, which he has a license to sell. What police also took? All the cash from Ahmed's register. The NYPD told us the money was vouchered as safekeeping, but Ahmed says they never gave him a voucher, so he doesn't even know how much cash the cops took.
So how do we claim how much money the police had seized that day when they didn't give us a seizure receipt for the cash?
The sheriff slapped him with a $10,000 fine and padlocked his bodega. Ahmed's lawyer was able to temporarily open it until his court hearing at the end of August.
I've been in business 15 years. They're going to come shut down for the stupid stuff like it's not even, sorry my language, for even, I ain't even doing it.
As you can see, we have a second shutdown, and this was for 8 ounces, as the news report said, 8 ounces. In other words, what was in the guy's pocket, or maybe he might have had it loose up on the counter. It was not there to sell it. It was for his own personal use. That's for your own personal use. Wait, I have to say at this point, isn't cannabis legal to have in New York City? Isn't it? Or as far as the state goes, in New York State? This is why, and I have to say this, and I can tell you, who directed the New York sheriffs to this particular bodega? Are they picking them randomly? Or, are they getting called? Like I said, I made the joke that, on one of the other videos. Is someone sitting there calling to the situation?
911, what's your emergency?
Excuse me. The store in the corner seems to be selling pot on a constant basis. Could you come and take care of it? And, this is where you look at this, where they even took, I have to say this, they took his money, bound it, and didn't even give him a receipt for the money that they took from his till. That pisses me off. Really, I'm not a lawyer. I didn't work in the judicial system and stuff like that, but I am just an American citizen, a New Yorker who's pissed the fuck off to this situation. Yes, I want the illegal cannabis trade out of New York. Yeah, I do want it. I want it out of here, but do it legally. You're shuttering stores, some of them for no reason. This is like, I think about the third one, I believe, that is, as far as we know, has violated the Constitution. And you could say for all the others, if they're doing it the same way. See, the bakery, the part about the bakery, that's straight out. It's like putting up a sign on the door. Yeah, we have baked goods with THC in them. And that's a different situation. And before you mention that in the comments, but in this kind of situation, whether it's a smoke shop, whether it is a deli, you can't go in there and says, "Well, we're here to inspect your store to see if you have cannabis." From a technical point and from a legal point of view, like I said, I'm not a lawyer. You don't have a warrant to go into his back room. If it's in front of you, as far as when you walk in the door, that's a different story to that situation. That's in front. You still have to go get a warrant to that nature. Now you may ask, what about the cigarette tax and stuff like that? If they can inspect for that. Well, the thing about it is you're licensed for that, and you have to be inspected every once in a while. So alcohol, tobacco, firearms, or the state issuing can come in to check what is in front of them in the store itself. Not what's in the back room, but what's in the front, to make sure that the cigarettes have tax stamps on them. But that's as far as they can go, unless they have some sort of evidence in which, again, they have to go to a court to find out if they're able to enter their back stock rooms or whatever back rooms to that point. But like I said, this is a total blatant violation of the Constitution when it comes to this. When you see this poor guy, how much money did he lose? They already fined him $10,000. By the time this video comes out, and this coming week when this video is airing, is that he's having his day in court to find out what they're going to do at this point. I mean, he is back open like the video says. What's going to happen to that point? Is it going to be similar to what's happening on the other side of Queens with that other deli that went through the same, I think it's deli or smoke shop that went through the same thing to the situation? And here's the other problem to this situation. From what I understand from people on the ground, sources that I have, and this is coming from the Bronx, some of the illegal smoke shops and the delis that are actual selling cannabis, illegal vapes, illegal on all that situation, is they're no longer storing it in the store itself. And what they're doing is that basically, if you come in there to buy, if they don't really know you, it's going to be like, no, we don't sell it. If you're a regular customer, they have someone in the back who's a runner, they're going to get paid at the front. He's going to run and get the product wherever they have it. In other words, it's not in the building itself. That's somewhere else, and bring it back and give it to the person. This is something new that's going on. We haven't heard this in the news, but it is going on, especially in the Bronx itself. Now, myself, I haven't seen this. From the people I've talked to, they say, yes, this is what is happening. So we can't confirm and deny the situation. This is what we're hearing. But the people that we've talked to, they're pretty much on target on that. This was the same thing with what happened with the deli next to Bases Loaded in the Bronx on there, what happened there. Whereas basically the police raided that place, opened up all the refrigerators, left all the food out, padlocked the place. For 1 month, all that food stayed out of the refrigeration, began to deteriorate and smell, and those odors crossed into the neighbors over at the bar that was directly next to us. That it just basically stank in the bar, which the bar lost business. I wouldn't be surprised if a lawsuit comes in from the bar to the sheriff's department for what they did. I would not be surprised on that. Will it happen? I don't know. That's up to the owner of the bar, to that point, and what happened with the deli itself. But this is what's going on. This is what's happening, and this is happening probably in other cities as well, and mostly ones with Democratic politicians in office, is that they're doing these stupid laws to appease the voters, okay? That's all this is. That's all this is. This is a way for them to get votes. They say, well, we made cannabis legal for medical and recreational so we get, a certain amount of people to vote for us on that. We have not learned from the fentanyl crisis. We have not learned from the drugs that they, OxyContin and all those drugs that they said, well, it's fine to sell them. It's okay for people to use them multiple. And they were being handed out like freaking pest candy. You were having dentists handing out OxyContin, painkillers to people for, the pain on them. They were continuing to do refills on them, which they shouldn't have been doing. It's going to happen with cannabis as we're seeing more and more people end up in the emergency room for certain issues that we know now it is. Yes, before you hit that comment line, yes, it is because of cannabis. We're dealing with a cannabis now that is much stronger. This is not your parents or your grandparents' pot, as they would say. This is not the same pot that was done when I was a kid. Okay, this is not the same strength. This is a much stronger, because what they're doing is that they're either lacing it, increasing the strength of the plant itself, and putting this out. And the thing about it is, you don't know what it's laced with, especially the illegal stuff. I wouldn't trust the legal or the illegal stuff, because you're not knowing what is in it. You don't know. Remember, this is the situation, and you heard this from our RFK. That they're trying to push to remove the chemicals out of our own food system. Remember that. If they're putting chemicals in our food system, you don't think they're putting different chemicals in cannabis? We know that it's in tobacco. We know that for a fact. But this is what they want to put out to you. They want to make these cannabis rules legitimate out there. They want to say they want to legitimize it, which the federal government hasn't legitimized it as of yet. So basically, these companies are dealing with a cash-based system, whereas basically they can't even put the money in the bank. That's right. They can't put it. They have to keep it in a safe. If you ever seen the first couple episodes of Tulsa King, where Stallone is joining up with this guy who owns a marijuana dispensary, all his $500,000 in a safe. Why? Because he can't put it in a bank, because basically the feds would take it immediately. But in the end, put it to yourself in this perspective. We have a presidential election coming up very soon. Also, if you're in New York, well, most major cities, the mayor elections are coming up right behind it. Remember, when you go to that vote booth, know who you're going to vote for, who's going to protect your rights as a citizen of this republic of the United States of America. Yes, that's right. We are a republic. That's why it says, for republic for which it stands, one nation under God. Always remember those lines, because it's very important. Know who you are voting for. Make sure that they're doing the job they're sent to Washington or to your capital of your state, because basically you can fire them. Yes, that's right. You can fire them by removing them by elections, or even having a recall election to that point. Now, I'm not telling you who to vote for, but pay attention who you are voting for, because some of these politicians are not there to protect you. They are to basically fill their pockets with money. That's right, money. That's why RFK left. Whether you believe him or not, that's why he stepped away from the Democratic Party. And many other Democrats are doing the same. And there's some on the Republican side who are going independent. because of some of the choices that some of the Republican Party has done as well. So in the comments, let me know your thoughts on this. Is this a violation of the Constitution? Or basically, am I freaking just throwing into the wind? Because I believe it is. And a lot of other people do truly as well. There are many lawyers, the lawsuits that are coming, the lawsuits that are pending. There's probably going to be a lot more to this down the line. Honestly, Operation Padlock needs to go. And a judge may decide by this week. So remember, comment, like, share this video. And hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. I think we're about 1130 plus at this point, at the time of this recording. Hopefully we'll be able to get to 2,000 before the end of the year. As we seep out of the summer into the fall, the changes, the new season coming for Madman with the Show. We are going to be light for the next 2 weeks as we get, through Labor Day. After Labor Day, we'll be back on the officially back the second week of September with all new stories, all new episodes, more, and coming from Madman Cafe, the return of Madman Cafe, and maybe some other things that we're working on the burner. And then, of course, the build of Q2Cast TV. That's right. We're in a new studio. We're having fun doing this, but it's taking time. It's taking money. It's going to take a while. Like I said, our audio is a little off. We've been tweaking it. We just upgraded our editing system. We're on DaVinci Resolve 19 now, and we're playing around with it. See how that works out for us. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Be sure to check out our merch shop at shopq2cast.com. We have some great sales that's going on till the 8th of September. Take advantage of the extra 15% off. Promo code NOTEBOOK. If you do miss out on that, there is another sale right behind it. So do check it out. Until next time, thank you for tuning in and have a safe holiday. Bye-bye now.